734.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And
I'm Mr. Buysalot.
there we are. And welcome everybody. It's the Hump Day Happy Hour Salute. And Mr. Magazine did not have a drink today. Did you have anything, Mr. Buysalot, or no?
Nothing of the alcoholic persuasion.
There we go.
I had a slushy from Sonic.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ooh, Sonic slushy. And I had a shot of bourbon cream, so nothing wrong with that at all.
Nice. I had some water, very exciting water. Tap water from Paper Guy's sink.
There we go. So we have a few people.
Nice.
All right, we got Triple F is first out the box. How's it going? Cheers back at you.
Thank you for being a member.
Marvelous Michael's always here.
Thank you for being a member.
And Awesome Adrian, how you doing?
And thank you for being a member. They're coming in a little bit slow, but they're coming on in. All right, everybody. Great to have you all in. We're going to start like what? And say hello to Jeff.
Jazzy Jeff, like always.
All right, we're going to start like we always do. We're going to talk about sales, and we'll let you start, Mr. Buysalot. How are your sales? Oh, he froze.
There we go.
Oh, there we are. All right.
Yep. Sorry, it was just your screen kept going out and then mine would come on.
Oh. Well, hopefully.
Want to run this over?
What was that?
Want to run these?
Yeah.
Marvelous Metals in the house. Delightful Don, like always. How you doing?
Oh.
Fun Flipping Root. Jay-Z John, how's it going? Marvelous Metal. Mercury Morris is in the house.
All right, we'll try that again. How are your sales going, Mr. Buysalot?
They're slow. I mean, I haven't listed personally anything on eBay in 2.5 years.
Oh.
So with that happening, our sales are slow as far as eBay goes, but we are, doing Whatnot on average 2 auctions a day. And then I'm now doing my YouTube auctions again, twice a week.
How many items do you have up on eBay at this point?
Currently we have about 94,000 listings. We had 185,000 a little over a year ago. So.
And it wasn't because you sold 91,000.
No, I wish. No, it was the fees for eBay were almost 70% of our income because we were paying $3,000+ a month for that stupid store subscription. So
hard to make money at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Mr. Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people here are saying they got really good sales going on right now, so that's good. How about you, Mr. Magazine?
eBay's not too bad. We got our sale running still, and we're about 10% ahead of last year at this point for eBay. Amazon seems to be up, but we're down 10% from last January in Amazon. Website's doing good. DVDs are doing good. Whatnot, we're killing it with records. Comics have been a little slow this week because my niece has been sick, but we'll make up for it this weekend with the record and comics tomorrow night.
Nice.
And of course, what about you?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. eBay's actually had a good day yesterday. Otherwise, it's been really slow. I don't know why eBay is just. I do know why eBay has been a glitch fest, which we're going to talk about in a little while. Absolute terrible glitches every single day on eBay. Tons of them. Whatnot's okay. Amazon, everything's okay, but eBay has just really, really been bad. But I'm blaming the glitches on that and the rain. Metal for Gemini sold $125 plate. Nice. How about any buys? You've been buying anything, Mr. Buysalot? I'm sure you have been. It's in your name.
Yeah. So I went to the flea market on Sunday.
Now you have about an indoor or an outdoor?
It's an outdoor.
Wow.
So I got there about 11:30, I want to say. And I just went because one of my subscribers, who I buy a lot of like sterling silver jewelry and other stuff from, messaged me and just said, "Hey, are you going to be up this way? I have some stuff in the car for you." I happened to be going to my house that was in Florence. So I was like, yeah, I'll stop by. So I stopped by. I bought a little bit. We dropped the video yesterday to show what we picked up. So, I try to drop a video once a week, just showing what I bought over the weekend or whatever. We have a few big deals coming in, hopefully in the next couple months, just once I get life straightened out first.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
How about you, Mr. Magazine?
Oh, I just had 4 pallets of magazines delivered today. It was from Brooklyn Connection. We dealt with them in the past. Is he on eBay? Brooklyn?
I don't think so. I think he
Okay.
just picks up things and sells them. Yeah.
That's probably the only deal right now that I just purchased. We have a big deal going on in Oregon and Washington. We're going to try and back those with an 18-wheeler, but that's probably not going to happen until next month.
Yep. We need some logistics there. Oh, what days are you on YouTube, Brian? Mr. Hot Wheels.
So currently what we're doing is I try to drop a video on Monday or Tuesday of what I bought over on the weekend. And then we do the live auction on Wednesday and Thursday, usually 1 till 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And what do you sell at those auctions?
Anything that I can get out of my way.
Oh, okay.
Today, like I bought some stuff from, I literally bought a box. I bought boxes of stuff from Storage Auction Pirate.
Yeah.
And I bought them maybe 6 months ago, and they were sitting on a shelf and they were still closed. I opened them live today, and I sold one of the boxes. Probably had, I don't know, 600 to 800 photos in it from the 50s and 60s. And I just sold the whole box. I think I paid $100 a box, and I was like, okay, I'll start it at $150.
Right.
And whatever it brings, it brings. And like, I literally opened it and somebody bid the $150, and then I started looking through it, and I'm like, oh, there's a whole bunch of like 1964 Sinclair dinosaur from the World's Fair.
Oh.
And like the Uniroyal tire, like Ferris wheel and stuff like that. So it was some really neat stuff. A lot of either Polynesian or Asian American women and stuff like that. So it looked like Hawaii or California. So it was definitely professionally taken, but you know, I didn't even look anymore. I literally just, I'm like, okay, I paid $10. We're starting at $10, and whatever it brings, it brings.
Right. Wow, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
Hello, Radio Parts. Welcome in. Great to have you in.
Marvelous Mike's in the house. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
So I promoted last week 23 of 47, so about 50% promoted over on eBay. Do you do the promoted over on eBay or no?
So we run, I will promote at 5% everything in my eBay store.
Okay.
I just do it. I do it every 30 days, and then I let it go off for a day, and I redo it again for 30 days. But that's, I mean, like, are we still doing sales? Sure. Whenever I had 6 employees and we were listing, 2,000 to 3,000 items a week, we were doing 10 times the amount of money that we do now. We still do, we sell $3,000 to $5,000 a month in just photos and government reports and easy stuff to pack and ship. So works out pretty good.
And the nice thing about that is that those are legacy sales because you're not listing anything. They're just sitting there. So,
Yep.
Nice. That's a nice little income there. Offers to watchers, 134 old, 299 total, 354 last week. So it was a slower week for sending offers out. So that kind of ties in with eBay being a little bit slower. 134 last year, 188 2 years ago. Over $1 million peddlers over on eBay. I sold 2 items. Vivs-Views, I sold 2. 4 on Etsy and 4 on the website. Have you ever tried Etsy?
A long time ago.
Okay.
I actually have money sitting in, I don't know if I have money in Poshmark or Macari. I have like $300 or $400 sitting somewhere that's been there for like a year and a half, and I can't figure out how to get the money out, even though I've turned off those sites.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, so 4 items over on papergoy.com. Do you have a website?
No. We did have a buying website, as Buysalot.com, and I don't think I renewed it last year because it didn't do a whole lot. So we advertise locally. A few restaurants, we have, advertisements on their tables, like the actual tabletops are advertisements. Cool. So So we do that.
Do those pay off for you?
$1,600 for the ad. It is on 36 tables at a local place. I bought one deal that made about 3,000 on.
Okay.
So to me, that's worthwhile, and we get more people all the time.
Right. Nice. The only buys I did,
and that ad will be good for 5 years. So
can't argue with that. Yeah, I cannot argue with that. I did go to 2 estate sales. The one I did put a short up on, I did buy a soccer ball at a sale. It was a pretty cool. It was a North American Soccer League soccer ball in box, which was pretty cool. They wanted $10 on it, but worth about $100. So you can't handle, or you can't pass up on that. Yeah, you are breaking up a little bit, Mr. Buysalot, but I don't know if that's on your end or what that is. So.
Let me check something quick. If I drop out, just re-put me back in.
Yeah, of course. And then the other item that I ended up buying were some the comics at the sale, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen the haul video on. If you haven't seen that yet, definitely do check it out. It was a pretty good haul, I would say. Pretty good video we had going up to.
Hopefully that'll help. I just had to switch the Wi-Fi from out in the garage to in here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's a lot better. Yep. So I don't know if you saw that video or not, Mr. Buysalot, but yeah, I picked up about $3,000 to $4,000 worth of comics at an estate sale for $150 on Sunday. So Journey into Mystery 84 and a Justice League #1 were in there. So I'm very happy about that.
Wow. Yeah, you don't find much of that stuff anymore.
No, you don't, especially 3 hours into an estate sale.
Yeah. Especially not down south.
Stuff's up north more than it is down there. You came from Pennsylvania, so I'm sure it's different picking.
Yep.
Different picking. Glitches. We had a crazy number of glitches this week. Try to run through these pretty quickly here. Item specifics. I don't know if you ever saw that. Well, you haven't listed on eBay since they've been requiring the item specifics. I actually was listing a magazine. When I did the drop down, there were 2 Octobers available.
Yeah, they just make it more difficult. It takes longer, and they do suppress listings tremendously. So I don't know. I am very not eBay excited any longer.
Yep. They kept taking. Do you sell on Amazon?
I used to sell on Amazon. I had about 15,000 items on Amazon, and I think I told you when I was up there, I accidentally clicked a button, and I don't know what it was. It was like return all or something. So it charged me 25 cents an item and returned everything to me because my local UPS store went ballistic because hundreds of boxes came back of stuff that was stored at FBA, and I was just like, it's fine. We had made money on the deal. Like I bought a house full of carded action figures and carded, Pixar cars and stuff like that. And we posted all of it and sent it all into them and Barbies. And I just got back all this stuff. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I just ran it through the auction and just chalked it up. Well, didn't want to do the work again.
That's funny. That's funny.
So don't do that.
I had a November 5th, 1945 Life magazine. Amazon has taken it down 5 times in the last day to review it because it might be inappropriate or dangerous. So I have no idea what the bots have found on this magazine, but they keep taking it down, then putting it back up, then taking it down again.
Paper cut.
Exactly. eBay was completely unresponsive on Thursday when answering emails. We had a couple of people here in the chat talking about how they kept having to log back in regularly. Happened to me too. I was listing and out of nowhere, I got a login screen. I'm like, I'm listing. Why do I have to log in?
Crazy.
The missing postage label costs we applied to your account and billed. Oh, geez. So yeah, I don't know if you saw eBay had done that to people. Did you see that? eBay.
I didn't get a message.
Well, no. eBay Australia, and I believe it was July of 2024.
Yeah.
Didn't charge anybody for postage. Finally figured it out 6 months later and said, oh, we're taking this out of your account for like a month's worth of postage.
Oh.
So here you are thinking you're fine, and now you got to repay postage from 6 months ago.
Yeah, for Lewis.
Yeah, well, that's just going to cause eBay to go down under.
Yep. I see what you did there. All right. We focus on asking tough questions, Mr. Buysalot. So I have a tough question for you here.
Sure.
We did not rehearse this beforehand. This is totally, you do not know what I'm going to ask you. Is that correct?
I have no clue what you're going to ask me.
Okay.
But I did wear pants and I am wearing a shirt.
Well, thank you. That was my second question. What year is it, Mr. Buysalot?
2025.
I believe it would be correct. I went to list the magazine today from 2025. You know that in the drop-down item specifics for eBay, there is no 2025. They've not updated that yet.
It's only been 2
Well,
weeks.
eBay's still using code from 25 years ago, so
Yeah.
I'm surprised you get anything over 2000.
They may not know that 2025 has happened yet. Like,
Yeah.
how hard is it to add a year?
Yeah.
How hard is that to do?
Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And then according to e-commerce bites, traffic numbers are coming up wrong on eBay as well. So they're giving you totally wrong traffic numbers. People are getting like 5 views on their entire store when they get, thousands and all that. And eBay's going, oh no, it's a glitch due to updates is what eBay said.
Yeah.
And then sell similar is also gone due to updates over on eBay. So kind of crazy as far as that goes. Sales have been okay, actually up 10%. No buys for me just yet. So we have a thing over here we do called Item of the Week. And this actually is an item that I picked up at the sale. And here we are. I don't know if you can see what that is or not.
Batman, what is that? A Batman 14?
Number 88. Number 88.
88.
Nice comic right over there. That
Nice.
was in the box that I bought for the $150.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, cannot argue with that at all. And Mr.
Nope.
Magazine collects Batman. So happy birthday, buddy.
Hey, thank
Early
you.
birthday present for you there.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was also in there. I didn't show that in the haul video. I wanted to save it for this. But yeah, there was also a Batman with the Joker on it as well, like 146 or something like that. So that was some nice stuff in that deal.
Very cool.
So there we are.
Nice.
That is the item of the week. Insulting offer of the week. Mr. Magazine had a Kenner Star Wars Hoth, which you've had many of those, I'm sure, in your day.
I have.
Complete. The near complete base, $25 he was asking on it. Somebody offered him $2.89.
Sold.
Thought he was set up to get that. So what do you do when you get insulting offers? How do you deal with those?
So on my eBay store, we turned off any offer that is under 50%.
Okay.
So 50% below, I don't even see. Offers above that, I generally counter offer. So when we were posting a lot of stuff and had a lot of employees to make work, obviously you're paying people by the hour. So to make work easier, when I bought a collection of, let's say, press photos, instead of going through and researching each and every photo to see which ones we should price at 25, which ones we should price at 15, which ones should be 12, which ones should be 70, we just said, okay, all press photos are going to be $17. And so that way there was no time wasted in that. If it's something sold super fast, great. When you're paying, 50 cents a piece, or at that time, I think I paid 25 cents a piece for the photos, and then, was paying employees $1 a piece to list them. Add $1.25 into it. If I get $17, if somebody offers me $12, I'm going to sell it. It just didn't matter. The time that it would have taken to research everything would have cost more than I would have made in the difference. So we just kind of bulk edit pricing, and that works out good for us.
It's interesting you say that, because we have had the debate here on the channel many times about, is it worth it to do the research on stuff? And we flip back and forth, because the problem with it is there's no guarantee that any of those photos are $70 photos. Right. So you do the work and you end up listing them all at 17 anyway, and you wasted 3 hours.
Right. So obviously each store subscription level gets so many fixed price listings versus so many auction listings. We used to run a bunch in auction just to, you get better sales. Yeah. I think the newspaper that I bought out in Natick, Massachusetts, I had like some John Wayne Gacy photos. Okay. And those went up at $4.99 starting bid or $9.99 starting bid, and they sold for like $340 a piece. And I had like 4 or 5 of them. So that was nice. But then, we've sold Princess Di photos when she passed away. Like, we had photos up, and overnight they all just sold. We don't change the prices. Like, we don't keep up with it to that degree.
Well, and I think we take you behind the curtain. Not you were behind the curtain. Take everybody else behind the curtain. We've actually met Mr. Buysalot in person, and we actually went out to lunch with him. And I believe you had mentioned, if I recall, regarding those photos, that what ends up selling better were the ones you didn't think were going to sell, if I remember.
Yeah, the local stuff like football photos from Midville or Middlesex, Massachusetts. Like I'll get people that'll message and they'll be like, "Oh, this is my husband. This is hilarious. It's like a great birthday gift." Or pictures of the mall that was there, and it's like a little girl and her grandfather sitting on a bench, and the girl messages me and she's like, "This was my grandfather. This was, a week before he passed away, and really love to have it, So, we give them a really good deal, and it's like a time capsule. It gives them happy memories. But on the other hand, you get people who are like, "This is me, and I wasn't very flattering looking at the time. You don't have my permission to sell it." And I'm like, "Well, unfortunately, it was published, and you gave permission to have it published.
Tell you what you can do. You can buy it, and we'll tear it up for you if you like. We don't care.
I get people that threaten to get lawyers, and
Really?
I had a lawyer who literally sent me a letter saying that her gymnastics photos were child pornography, and she wanted them pulled from eBay, and I just didn't even respond. eBay completely refused to pull them. It was her in a leotard or whatever, and I was like, she must have sent me 3 letters, and she kept telling me how big of a law attorney she was. And I finally sent her back a message and said, "Look," I said, "you've spent enough time to send me 3 letters, and you've sent me 35 or 40 nasty emails."
Yeah.
I said, "You could have bought the photo for $12. I was like, "So apparently you're not that important, or you don't have a backlog of work."
That's
crazy.
Funny.
That's crazy.
And these were published in a newspaper, right?
They were.
Yeah. So it's not child pornography. Insane.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh wow. Oh, that is a good story.
Yes, Mike. I got rid of employees. So Pam actually, her husband's stepfather passed away, and they run a storage facility in Pennsylvania, and he asked her to come and help him at the storage facility when his stepdad passed away. So he took over the facility, and she went to work for him. So I no longer have any employees other than, I don't even consider them employees. My wife is more like my boss. And
every married man knows what you're talking about.
we pay my youngest son to do 2-hour auctions on whatnot at $15 an hour until season starts again, and he's a lifeguard. So just gives him enough money to pay me the car insurance and the cell phone bill.
I think I have to agree with Eric. Best sidekick was Benny Hill's old bald guy. I have to agree with that. He was good. Why did you downsize?
So my fees were, I was paying $3,000 a month for a store subscription. And because I wasn't listing, and we did this through numerous channels, had people search for different items that we had on eBay. And so much of it was suppressed that we literally, I talked to eBay on the phone. I was like, "Look, I've had 2 different accounts on eBay. I've been on eBay when it was auction.net. So before it was eBay, I've met Pierre in person. I knew like most of the people that were there. I started the eBay Cafe chat room. And so I had direct access to a lot of these people, and I talked to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah." And I was like, "Well, why can't I just take 2 of the $300 store and just pay you guys $600 a month and have my 200,000 items listed?" And they were like, "Oh no, we can't do that." I was like, "Well, so I can list 100,000 items for $300, but you want $3,000 for me to have double that amount up." And so I was very frustrated at the time. I mean, maybe we were doing 5,000 or 6,000 a month. Where when I had employees, we were doing 30 to 40,000 a month. So it was a huge difference. And so now we just got rid of it and said, "Okay, well, we no longer do it." I literally pulled down 90,000 listings. They're still sitting in my garage in filing cabinets. I just went through and pulled down specific workers' inventory so that I knew where everything was.
Now, where in PA are you from originally?
Allentown, the Allentown area.
Yep. Oh, do you like being a one-man band better?
With
fewer headaches.
I still would say no.
Okay.
And my wife and I are at this point, like, we moved down here because my family, my mom and dad, my mom's got Parkinson's now. My dad passed away. So we moved down here to kind of be with them as they got older. And we decided that now my wife is kind of like, oh, we're in the middle of the boonies. Like, you can't even get Grubhub to bring food here. So now she wants to move as soon as Aiden will graduate this year, and he's going off to the military in July.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So we'll be empty nesters, and she wants to find somewhere else to move because there's really nothing going on here. So I have not, we were going to buy an acre of land. We were going to build a 20,000 square foot building. I was going to hire people. So now we're looking to rent something that's like 1,000 to 1,500 square foot just to do whatnot on. And then I'm going to hire some college students, one or two of them, to do whatnot 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And that'll be our full-time income other than whatever, side deals I do.
Right. Oh, I guess you went out to eat with Mr. Hot Wheels.
Yeah, I did. I was down there dropping off a pallet of Marvel posters to a customer, and I met up with him. I was supposed to meet up with Casey from Rockstar Flipper, and we went and had dinner, and then I drove back.
There you go. As far as Countdown to Brimfield, have you ever been to Brimfield?
I've done Brimfield probably a few hundred times. Like 3 times a year for 25 years or more.
How is it? I've never been there. How is it? Is it worth my going to? It's about probably 8-hour drive for me.
It's fun. Bring money.
Yeah.
And you'll get overwhelmed. It's a lot of walking. As a kid, I used to help porter stuff. So I would go around and collect beer cans and stuff in Massachusetts. Everything's worth a nickel. Cans and bottles are all nickel. Mm-hmm. And since we knew all of the vendors in our fields, my parents and I literally would make $3,000 over the week picking up 5-cent cans.
Wow.
And I did that until I got old enough to where I was buying and selling, and then got my own stand. And, I like to go there to buy. I'm just, I buy a lot of stuff. So it's much more fun than selling.
There you go. Adrian says you're only on the outskirts of civilization where you're at.
Yeah, it's not horrible. I mean, like, there's a Bojangles in town and stuff like that, but
right. Time for everybody's favorite time, the Cornfucius joke of the week. So this week, the Cornfucius joke of the week, and stop by all my Whatnot auctions 20 minutes past the hour. You will hear one. Jethro is the world's steadiest worker. If he were any steadier, he'd be motionless. He is the world's steadiest worker. If he were any steadier, he'd be motionless.
Wah, wah, wah.
I see you're a big fan of Cornfucius. So customer issues had somebody, they returned something. They just didn't like it. So I've had 2 returns in the last 2 weeks. Just didn't like it. Apparently I am try it before you buy it going on over here. I'm kind of crazy. Did you see Amazon's doing away with that, Mr. Buysalot? They're doing
I actually didn't see that on Amazon. If somebody describes something wrong, I'm all for a return. If I make a mistake, it's my fault. I am happy to return you, or I'll just tell you to keep it and I'll send you all your money back.
Absolutely.
My fault. If you buy something and you go, oh, well, it didn't match the other outfit that I planned to wear, or I didn't like the length of the purse, or it doesn't fit me right. I used to be a size 40 and now I'm a 44. That's on you. Like, I agree. It's ridiculous.
And unfortunately, that's not the way the world works with eBay and Amazon and all the returns. And that, this was a comic book, and last week I had a booklet, and they bought them, and I just didn't like them. Like, what did you think they were? What exactly did you think they were? And then this was kind of and thoughts and prayers out to everybody out in California with all the problems going on there. 2 days after the fire, I actually got an email from somebody, message through eBay. and they were asking about a catalog that I had up, and they were asking if I had any other of that catalog from other years, because they had lost all of them in the fire.
Oof.
And they were trying to put the collection back together.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have any more, I'll keep my eyes open, because it was a local business, half hour way business from here. But so I felt really, really bad, and they just bought it outright. I was like, you can make me an offer, I'll take less, because much like things like that with the photos and all that, you would take less for somebody. I mean, I knew this meant something to them. They just bought it right outright, and I felt really bad about their situation. So
Yeah,
lots of prayers to everybody out there, definitely. So I logged into Amazon yesterday, and a critical event had occurred, and I was at risk of deactivation. That's always a fun thing to do when you log into your Amazon account, Mr. Buysalot.
on Amazon.
Yeah. Turns out that literally all I had to do was recertify my name, that my name hasn't changed, my address hasn't changed, and my social security number hasn't changed in the last 12 months. They have not. So two-step click, and I was fine. The reason why I bring this up, and you are my witness, Mr. Buysalot, you heard what I just said, correct?
Mm-hmm.
3 months from now, Mr. Magazine will have a critical error on his, and he will be panicking and asking me what he needs to do. I am just telling you that will happen, and he'll have forgotten all about this conversation.
Well, if he sends $3,000 in PayPal over to your fund, you can remotely fix his issue.
Oh, I like that. Nice. Yes, I'll give you $1,500 for coming up with that great idea.
Yeah. We're located in Ohio.
Exactly. And we work really, really weird hours, and exactly.
Mike, thanks for asking. Well, two reasons. One, with paper I can never get a word in edgewise, but my stomach was feeling a little off before I got here, but I said I'm going to pull through, so I'm pulling through.
Nice.
Did you eat one of those smasher plates?
No.
Oh, the garbage plates.
No, haven't one of those in over a year.
We tried to sell Mr. Buysalot on the garbage plate. I read it to him in the salesman's voice, and still couldn't convince him to buy a garbage plate. I said, well, next time you come up to Rochester, you have to have one. And he said, well, I'm ever coming up to this crap hole again. Yeah. But he actually didn't say that.
Is this the first time I did not do a shot? Might be the
might be. Yeah,
first time I didn't do a shot today. Yeah, I said you don't want me going in the restroom and doing something I don't want to do. So
reversal, I think they call that.
Is that it? Okay.
I had a customer complain that I wasted money by upgrading their shipping service for free. It's just that I didn't know how to use the ESC service. 50,000 postcard orders apparently isn't sufficient. Yeah, yep, absolutely. Not trying to brag here whatsoever, but my 90-day sale total the other day on eBay was $26,000.
Nice.
26,000.00. Literally 26. Perfect. And I said, thank God I don't have to report a 90-day total, because you report that in, you are asking to be audited. How much were your sales? This amount? You sure they were.
Now that you say that, we would like to let you know that the IRS has opened up a new case.
Exactly. What are the odds of exactly that amount? Oh, Mr. Hot Wheels knows all about Nick Tahoe's, where the garbage plate was started at. What do you, I know Mr. Magazine here likes some nice cars. What do you drive, Mr. Buysalot?
I drive a 2019 Chevy Traverse.
We are going to upgrade you, Mr. Buysalot. I don't know if you saw this or not. Bill Clinton's presidential caddy limo, which is armored, one of 3 made, is up for auction, and it only has 627 miles on it.
Wow.
Now, they built the 3 of them, and it cost them $6 million to build back in the 1990s. So we're talking $2 million per. So that can be yours if the price is right. Nice. I could see you driving around one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, does it come with Monica Lewinsky DNA?
No, she's a chauffeur. That might throw her in for free now.
That might be what she's doing nowadays. Who knows? I've got a big whatnot this weekend when worlds collide. Crafters and junk journaling all day Saturday train. Come on by for that. Do you do any trains over on whatnot? We're trying to get Mr. Magazine to do a train. Have you done any?
I have not. I was supposed to be involved in one in December. It kind of fell through. I was supposed to be in the Storage League competition. Mm-hmm. they wound up not having it in December, and I actually had Corey here selling for me out of the warehouse. But yes, we will be participating in trains and raids this year, especially if I can get the other location. So we have a nice area where I can grid off a bunch of tables and I can sell through 100 or 150 items in an hour.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow. That's impressive. If you can do that, that it would be very impressive.
That's our goal.
Now, do you load to buy it now? Because you got to do that at some point. No. Okay.
No, we, again, I am very simplistic in the belief that if you've built up a good audience, you can start things, at your cost or even less. I'm not a big proponent to the dollar sales on whatnot because it's a gimmick. And, if you sell something for $1, you pay them their fees, you're getting 45 cents. So I start a lot of stuff at $2 to $4. Pretty much everything starts under $5. We will wind up running, I'm going to run graded PSA Michael Jordan rookies for $5 start bids at some point, and they'll be $5,000-$6,000 cards, but we'll advertise it well in advance, and whatever it brings, and hopefully it'll just keep growing the channel. But when we create our listings, it is like, so for her, for Y2K tonight, it just says random pull Y2K, new old stock clothing, $4 start. Everything's listed as £1. We charge a flat $8.77 shipping. So as soon as they buy one item, it's free shipping for the rest of the night. We eat that cost. Yes, metal for Gemini. Yes, the one for $750. Yes, I sold it last week.
Now on so, and this is actually I don't do much on whatnot as far as shipping. I don't do the flat shipping like you do. So you've got the flat shipping, $8.77. Me as a buyer, I pay $8.77 no matter what I buy.
Right. For the most part.
I buy 40 items from you, which are more than can fit in a flat rate box. How do you do that then?
I pay the additional shipping.
So
I'll put it into a large box and we'll send it by Ground Advantage. And if it's $32, then I pay the additional $26. If you're a good enough customer where you're buying 40 items, I appreciate the business and I'm happy to pay, on my end. And, it seems to work out. It alleviates people thinking like, oh, well, I got to pay $8.77 now. And then after 5 pounds, I got to pay, another $12.83. And then I got to pay another. It's just, I think for us, we've done shows that have done, $5,000 to $7,000 in a show, and we might eat $150 or $200 in shipping. So I'm willing to do that.
Now, do you ship? Do you ship it through whatnot though, and do you just put
everything.
Your Ground Advantage label on it as it's written, and then they just back charge you? Is that how it works, or do you change?
So I will go in, like when I do movie posters, for example, we create a movie poster profile. A movie poster in a flat rate priority box, $8.77. I can fit 25 movie posters if they're folded into a flat rate priority box.
Right.
If somebody bought 35, I'm just going to split that order into two. I'm going to eat $8.77, and I'm going to send them 17 in one and 18 in the other.
Right.
And then it just automatically charges me $8.77 right out of my fees.
Okay.
For that. And I just change it. Like, so if we're doing a big order that has a lot of weight, if it's over, if you can't fit it in a 12 by 12 by 6 box, and it's over, I think it's over 5 pounds, you're going to pay a little difference. But it's okay. Like, you sell some small items and to make up for the big items that take up a lot of room, where you just don't sell things that are too large.
Right. Okay. I didn't know you could do that through whatnot, because Mr. Magazine actually doesn't know this, but somebody reached out to me and said, you got to learn how to use flat rate shipping for the comics. So I don't know how to do it either. So that's why I was asking him how to do it.
So you can, if you sell, so when we do our comic shows, we do 6 comics for $5 start. I don't know what's in the boxes. Aiden has no clue about vintage comics at all. Like there could be a Hulk 181 or Spider-Man 129 in a box, and we're starting it out at 75 cents a book. We started them out at $5 for 6 books. And I just go to the warehouse and I grab long boxes and I hand them to him. If it's 60s, it's 60s. If it's 70s, it's 70s. If it's new, it's new. We don't even look. And I don't watch the auction because I don't want to be upset at what we sell stuff for. So when he does that in a flat rate box, in the large flat rate box, you can fit about 70 comics.
Oh, wow.
So if somebody has bought 10 lots from me, I'm willing to, to split their order into 2, and I'll eat 877 if they bought more than 70 books. If they bought 11 or more orders, I'm willing to split it up and just pay the 877 off of my end.
So you got to try that then, because if you can fit 70 books, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you got
50 to 70. I mean, 50 if you're going to put like a good amount of bubble wrap around them. And
yeah, we can talk to him afterwards to find out how to do that. Yeah, exactly how to set that up. James can set that up, I'm sure.
Yep.
Oh, Schmidt Auctions in the house. Hey, do I owe you a record?
Inside joke. Schmidt Auctions reached out to Mr. Magazine with something, and he commented back, "Do I owe you a record?" I think he got the emails mixed up.
It was a whatnot band glitch, and I had like 100 emails, so I apologize.
Remember the show Starsky and Hutch?
Yes.
You know, the 1976 Ford Gran Torino that they used is coming up for auction also. There were 3 of them in the show, and the 3rd one is coming up for auction. So you could drive around in that when you're not driving around in your caddy.
That's cool.
Me and Huggy Bear go out. No problem.
There you are. That'd be a fun weekend. Now, I know you moved recently from Pennsylvania, and you were talking about wanting to move again. Have you ever thought about New Mexico?
No, but a friend of mine from up your way is moving out to Arizona.
Well, you should move to New Mexico because remember Walter White?
I do know. Yeah.
The house that they had his exterior shots for is up for sale now for $4 million. So
is that it?
You can move out to New Mexico, drive everything, put everything in the presidential caddy, drive out there, have your wife drive the Starsky and Hutch car out there, and you can get started again.
Yeah. Be cool. Will they trade for merchandise?
You would go viral. I'm going to tell you right now. If you did all of what I just said there, you would go viral.
Yeah, I'd have to be able to afford the $5 million I spent.
So Heritage Auctions. You ever have any dealings with Heritage?
Yeah, I've sold some stuff through Heritage.
Last
good
year,
and bad. So
they did $1.8 billion in sales in 2024, which is just a little less than you, but they did pretty good. They're not bad.
Well, yeah, we all have to aspire to be somebody.
Exactly. Did you ever have any dealings with Diamond, the comic distributor?
So Steve Jeppy. Yeah, I've been to Diamond's headquarters, and I know some of the people that work there and used to work for Steve Jeppy and stuff like that.
Did you see they filed bankruptcy yesterday?
No, I did not.
Yes, Diamond Distributors filed bankruptcy yesterday. No idea what's going to be going on with the people with the orders and all that kind of stuff, and kind of a crazy time. I know there are other distributors out there at this point, but yeah, they did declare bankruptcy yesterday.
Might have to message them and see if we can get some pallets of backstock.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there you go. Biblio, the most expensive book sold on Biblio last year, a first edition of Tropic of Cancer by Henry Miller, first in jacket, $20,000 they got out of that on their site.
Nice.
What's the most expensive book you ever sold?
We've sold. I sold a book for $6,500 not too long ago. I can't even remember the name of it. And I sold an atlas.
Sure you look for that book.
Yeah. Well, I made a video about it, but that was probably about a year and a half ago. And then last year I sold a Palm Beach atlas from like the 30s.
All right.
So I had all the properties, all the property lines, only 3 known, one in the Library of Congress. I sold it on eBay for $14,000.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. What was that, like a plat book, like really oversized?
Mhm.
Or yeah.
Yeah, wasn't huge. I mean, it was probably the size of a large scrapbook.
Oh, okay. Okay. Wow, 14 grand.
Yep.
Nice. Well, the other thing that you need to buy, Mr. Buysalot, because we've got you moving out there, but you may not like the traffic. A 1966 Conair Boeing 727, which was actually sitting at the El Paso airport for years, was dilapidated, sold for $10,132. Now that's the kind of thing I could actually, it was actually on a government surplus auction, as a matter of fact. I could
see buying that.
like that. Yeah, I absolutely could.
Storage unit on wings.
Plus probably a lot of value as well as if you piece
Art.
it up, honestly. Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably sell the parts out of it.
Do you still have the Silver Surfer statue?
I do. So my signed Silver Surfer statue. It is sitting in the warehouse in Florence.
Nice. Nice. And Schmidt Auctions reached out, and she's also here in the thing there. She'll be doing a lot of stuff at the Allentown Paper Show. They'll be doing auctions from there. She actually, believe it or not, wants me to interview a couple of people, the promoter for the channel or the show and everything over on her Facebook channel as well. So I said, certainly. Schmidt's very, very good. Now, I know you used to go to Allentown all the time. Any dealers we should check out while we're there? Anyone get the Buysalot endorsement?
So I buy from a lot of people. It just depends on who will be there. If Mike Dean's there, Ken Crete, there's a lot of people. Like I used to be really good friends with, Unshredded Nostalgia, Jim Episali, and he passed away. They have a store in Barnegat, New Jersey. They're trying to sell me the contents of that store. But he had amazing stuff. There are so many. I mean, Ken from Follow the Arbrook Road. There's a ton of really good sellers there. The promoter's a nice guy.
Yes. Yep.
That runs it. There are, there's some questionable dealers that some people don't like that I get along with because, I look at it like I'm supposed to know what I'm buying and, not go off of their word. So,
yeah, right.
I buy a lot of stuff when I go to Allentown. Like I literally make deals to either buy out booths or at the end of the show, I'll buy out booths.
Nice. Wow.
Cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
You are a wheeler and dealer. What is your biggest deal you ever did?
Biggest purchase was probably $125,000 on rock and roll concert posters.
Okay. Yep.
Best deal was I bought from a pawn shop local to where I was at in Allentown. They were actually in Easton. A guy kept bringing in, this kid kept bringing in his grandfather's collection of stuff, and I wound up making a deal and paid $75,000 for everything that came in. I was buying the toys as they came in and doing really well with those. But I bought that deal. I sold one poster out of that through Posters International in New York for $120,000.
Wow.
I sold numerous other World War I posters, original artwork. I probably did $500,000 out of that, and I still have somewhere banana boxes full of books. So there's a signed first edition Mark Twain, Tom Sawyer signed by Samuel Clemens. And that guy owned a really high-end bookstore in New York in the 60s.
Wow.
So I have boxes full of first edition Uncle Remus with dust jackets and things like that I've just not got around to. We had books to do with vintage posters and stuff from the 1800s, early 1900s that we sold for $8,000 and $10,000 and $12,000 also out of that deal. So that was probably one of our biggest sale deals.
Right.
We just bought, we spent $100,000 buying the vintage Y2K warehouse in Pennsylvania a year and a half ago. My wife hates it, but last year we did almost 300,000 on Whatnot, pretty much from that stuff primarily.
Now, what is the vintage Y2K warehouse? I'm not familiar with that.
So we bought a warehouse. It was they had 2 stores in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia came in and was going to condemn their warehouse building. So they sold all the contents to this guy, and I did a video from his store. Originally, he wanted 200,000. I was just like, no. I offered him 100,000. He wouldn't take it. And I kicked myself for a long time. And then like 2 years later, he messaged me. And it's like, hey, is the offer still good? And I was like, I got to see what you got. Well, he sold some of the stuff, and I was like, hey, I'll give you 50 grand. It's going to cost me 15,000 to move it. It's going to cost me another 20,000 in labor. I've got to spend 2 or 3 months here. So we had 100 grand invested into that deal overall. And we still have about, we have a 40-foot container down here that is still full of mostly like the Echo Unlimited and South Pole and Coogee and all that stuff from the 90s into 2000. The store's open 87 to 2010. Okay. So
very cool.
All brand new old stock. So we've got a lot. I mean, we could have done crazy numbers on eBay. We were selling pants for like $100. We're selling on eBay for $350, $400. I just didn't want to list them.
Wow. Now we're into the main part here. Do you have anything you wanted to ask, Mr. Buysalot?
I think we're good right now. Yeah,
we're
good. You're covering it all.
There we go. One thing definitely do, and I'll tomorrow I'll post a link to Mr. Buysalot's channel over there. I should have done it. I was remiss in not doing it. I do apologize for that, Mr. Buysalot.
No worries.
Good guy. Again, we met him in person. Really, really good guy. It is funny. Much like when I email Franklin Hill Ventures Stuart, you are much like him in that I'll email you something and a couple of jokes, and I get back okay. And then I'm always like, okay, did I say something wrong? Did I step on his toes? Did I get him upset? And it's so funny.
Never.
Stuart does the same exact thing. I'll, do da-da-da-da. And he goes, okay. I'm like, all right.
But yeah, I'm not a big one for like, I probably get 200 text messages a week. And it's just like, my wife will text me from the living room if I'm back like playing video games, or if I'm out in the garage, like she'll text me from the living room, and I'm like, most of it is okay. And it's something that she'll be like, is the dog out with you? I don't know. I'm working. But no, Stuart's a really good guy too. I like Stuart a lot. And, I'm very like, some things I'll look at and I'll be like, yeah, it's okay. It's kind of funny. and then like, if I see something that's crazy funny, I'll message you back and I'll be like, that's hilarious. I'm going to share this out.
Yeah, I've never gotten that. I just get a lot of okays. So I guess that answers that question. No, but the other thing that we definitely do appreciate, Stuart, because that's the way his Wes on his channel always says the name Stuart. We definitely do appreciate Mr. Magazine, I would say, is in between you and me as far as you say it like it is, and you don't bite your tongue at all. Mr. Magazine has become more corporate over time and is biting his tongue a little bit more because he's got the employees and all that. And because I worked for New York State for 33 and a half years, you're going to get a lot when you talk to me. You're going to get a lot of, well, I see your point and I understand. Just because 33 years work for New York State, you got to be that way if you understand. I had a public service, type job, and I was out in the field. So I definitely do appreciate that from you. Ever gotten in trouble for that? As far as saying something other and somebody didn't take it quite the way, like send a funny joke and you get an okay back or something like that?
So do you know Pat Dees? So the traveling picker.
I know the name.
So Pat's a friend of mine. And he comes in, he jokes with me all the time because like in the auctions, I'll be like, well, look at the size of this. It's bigger than my hand. I'll like put my hand up against it. And I'll be like, well, how big is your hand? And he'll be like, oh, he's got little hands. and I don't know, like the one night he came in and he was giving me a hard time about my hands, and I was selling dolls, and he's like, oh, are those dolls you played with? And I said, no, this is the psychiatrist doll. Where remember he asked you to show him on this doll where the guy touched you at. I got this scathing email from this subscriber of mine telling me how that is inappropriate, how she has
Oh, that's
has
funny.
adopted a sexually abused child. And I was like, well, first off, I was saying this to a 40-year-old man and not a child, not in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And I said, and I'm sorry. I said, I'm always going to be me. And if that offends you, please feel free to unsubscribe from my channel. Like, life is too short to worry about things. And I try to explain this to my wife because she gets upset about a lot of things, and my son and everything like that, is that if you get upset about something, that something has already happened. You can't change it. It already happened. You can learn from it and you can be upset, but to cause a big argument and waste all that negative energy, it's not worth it. So I say what I want to say. And if it offends somebody, I'm sorry. If I say my political views and somebody doesn't want to follow me because they have a difference in opinion, like, look, you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. I don't care. If you're a good person, you're a good person. Doesn't matter. But everybody is like, oh, if you vote for this person, I'm never speaking to you again. And it's like, okay, well, then you weren't a good friend to begin with. Bye. Like, it's fine.
Right. Okay. Right.
So too many people worry too much. Hey, Steve.
Oh, there we are. Hello, Steve. How are you?
How's it going?
The other, I had something else in here for you. Oh, so how do you, I guess I'm looking to move up, as far as that goes. How do I get in touch with people that are selling these without giving away secrets? I mean, do you call around? Do you just kind of get your name out there and people kind of learn about it over time? How do you get to the stage where you're buying stores out, I guess is the question I'm sure a lot of people out here have.
Okay. So for you, in your location, your area, you have antique malls, right?
Yes.
So have you ever thought to go to like the manager of the antique mall and be like, hey, if times are getting tough for certain vendors and they're talking about pulling out, ask them if they want to sell everything. Like if they just want to sell their entire booth, or if somebody passes away and their family members come in and they're like dreading having to clean out the booth, ask them like, hey, do you want me to just buy everything? Is there other stuff that they have that you don't know what to do with? What kind of price would you be happy with? I'll take care of it. I'm not going to charge you to move it. Like, some people charge other people to do stuff. I don't do that. So I will put my name out to antique co-ops and stuff like that for vendors who are getting ready to leave. Flea markets, same thing. I find at flea markets, there are so many people in this space. And Kevin, I hope you watch this because I'm going to call you out for Commonwealth Picker. I love Kevin. Like I've met Kevin a million times. He is genuinely a good guy. But I always laugh, like I'll watch his video and then people are like, you're such a cheapskate. And I'll be like, you know what? He goes to a yard sale. He sees something for $10 and he's like, oh, I looked it up and it sells for $80. I'm going to see if I can get it for $5. Just give them the damn $10. It is, one, you're taking time that you could be at the next sale. And two, you didn't argue. So if that person ever goes anywhere and sees that you sold their item for $80, now you're not a swindler. You gave them exactly what they want. You are being really honest with them. And I get a lot of business that way because if I think something is a fair deal or a good deal, I just pay it. Like you don't, I know there's some fun in haggling back and forth on price, but if it's worth it, like especially at the flea market, really early in the morning, if I see something on your table for $100 that I know I'm going to get 1,000 for, I'm not asking you to take $75. I'm just giving you $100 and I'm moving on to the next table.
100%. Yes.
And if you do better on something, this happened. I had a Route 66 sign. I think I told you about this. I bought at Leesport Flea Market. I went up. Another dealer I knew that does car and automotive stuff was there, had it in his hands. The guy said $50. He put it down, porcelain sign. I looked at it. I thought it was real. Had a little tiny bit of damage, 1930s stamp on the back. I was like, hey, how much is that? And he goes, well, he thinks it's reproduction. I was asking $50. I was like, well, I'll take a shot for $50. It's nice and heavy. Even if it's a repro, it costs $50 and it's old. And I paid $50 for that. And he's like, well, he's like, I got more signs in the car. So he pulls out another like Conestoga sign. I buy that from him for $20. I had no clue. Like literally, I was carrying it back to my car. Another dealer asked me like a price. He's like, hey, that's a really good sign, not a reproduction. Whoever said that's an idiot. And he's like, would you sell it? And I'm like, sure. I was like, I just bought it, and he's like, what'd you pay? And I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. I said, pay $50. And he's like, well, what would you take? And I said, $500. I said, I'm just guessing. I said, he's like, I'll give you 100. I'll let you double up. And I'm like, no, I said, I'll keep it. I put it on eBay. It sold for right at $9,000 or $10,000.
Wow.
I saw the guy set up again, and I brought him an envelope with $2,000 in it. And I gave him the envelope, and he literally chased me down the aisle and gave it back to me. And he's like, no, I can't take your money. And I'm like, listen, I said, the sign was worth a lot more than I thought. And by that time, everybody at the flea market, there was stories going around like how I negotiated him down to $10 and all this other stuff. And like, I would be in a booth and like, there'd be two people talking about this. And they'd be like, it was just like outlandish stories of how like, oh, did you hear like somebody found this sign here and they took it out of the back of the guy's van and the guy had to chase him down because he was going to steal it. And then like the guy at the booth is like, oh, I know who bought that. And they're like, oh, really? Who was it? And like he turns to me and he points to me and they're like, it was you? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I bought it. I said, none of that stuff is true. I said, so the guy, I said, somebody else had it in their hands. They said $50. They set it on the table, thought it was a repro. I paid the $50. And I was like, I did it. But the guy refused to take the money from me.
Oh, wow.
And I said, look, I said, I sold it. And I told him what I sold it for. I said, it was like 9 or 10 grand. Maybe it was even more than that. I don't remember. It's been a while. I just remember it was on my way home from New York Comic Con, and we were at Clinton Station Diner eating when it was ending. And I had people offering me like from the first day, like, oh, I'll give you $2,000 to end it. And I started at $9.99.
Wow.
I had no clue. And so when it sold, I was really happy. And so I felt like give this guy, because the guy's a good picker. I've seen him there like a bunch. And he's like, why would you try to give me more money? And I said, well, I got a lot more for the sign than I thought. I said, I sold it. And I told him the exact price I'd sold it for. And he said to me, he's like, look, he said, you didn't ask me to come down on price at all. He said, you paid whatever price I wanted. He's like, so he said, I can't be mad at you. He said, I paid $10 for all 10 of the signs that I got from that guy out of his barn. And he's like, I made my money. He's like, you got lucky and you made a lot of money. And I'm like, and he's like, I really appreciate the fact you didn't lowball me on it. And I was like, I had no clue what it was worth. I said, I just took a shot. I like to gamble. And he's like, I'll make you a deal. He says, anytime I get anything that I think is good, he said, I'll leave it in the truck for you. He said, so if you see my truck, he said, just ask me. And I explained to him, I was like, look, I said, the truth is like, if you go back to that same house, I said, and the guy's got like a barn full of great signs, obviously I want you to think about me. So it was, I went to him one day and it was cold. It was like starting to get frost on the ground and he was out there and you could just tell like he's making ends meet, but he loved being out there. And he had a table. Everything was $3 a piece, 2 for $5. I bought his entire table. Like I spent like $600 or $700 with him. I just said, look, I said, a lot of the stuff I can probably use. I'll just take your whole table.
Yep.
And he's like, are you serious? And I said, and it's cold. I said, and where's your jacket? And he's like, I left it at home. And he's like, it's fine. And, rough guy. And so I bought his table and he's like, you want me to help you pack it up? And I'm like, it's fine. I said, I'll just sit here and sell it. And one of the other dealers I knew was like 2 or 3 booths up from him. And I went over to him. I'm like, hey, do you want everything on his table for $100? And he's like, sure. So it was my way of giving him money without actually like him feeling like I was giving him money. And I gave the other guy a good deal. And I didn't want to sit out there in 35-degree weather. So.
See, you ruined my joke there, Mr. Buysalot. I was going to say, I got to talk to my dad. In the meantime, I'll take the $2,000 and I'll make sure he gets it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, so I get a lot of people that refer us, and even from our ads down here on the tables and stuff, like, you know, the lady that I bought her sports cards, I've got 2 calls from her neighbors. Oh. And she's just like, you know, he came over, he went and got cash, you know, it wasn't, you know, hard to deal with. And I gave him a price and he said, fine.
So real quick, and then we'll let you on your way. So you and 2 of us did a deal together, Mr. Buysalot, as I recall.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, it was actually pretty funny dealing with you because we're pretty easygoing and easy to deal with. And you had a couple of flags up. It seemed like, wait, these guys can't be this easy to deal with. Cause you were like, yeah, we got magazines and you gave us a price and we're like, yeah, we'll take them. And you're like, well, I haven't sent you any pictures yet. And we're like, yeah, we don't care. We'll take them because you describe what they were to us. And then you're like, well, what happens if I drive up and you don't want them? And we're like, no, we'll take them type deal.
Well, I actually tried to get you to come and get them because my big thing was I did not want to, in the middle of winter, to drive a cargo van. Well, actually, it was a box truck up to New York, and then 10 minutes from these guys, 10 to 15 minutes away, I get hit with a completely white out blizzard.
Yes, you did.
I am living in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I do not want to be going in snow. And I'm like, look, instead of X dollars, I'll do $1,000 less, and you just fly down here. I'll help you go get a truck. I'll load them into the truck.
You were trying to pay us to come down. You were like, we'll give you $1,000. You take it all. Get out of here.
Yep. I was like, I'll take $1,000 less, and you take it, and I don't got to drive it. I've got to the point. I hate the drive of 13 to 15 hours. It's like, especially when you're by yourself.
I'm spoiled with Aaron because Aaron's my driver, and he's driven to Utah, California, Washington, and I couldn't do it. I'm not a good driver.
No, but no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm going to be coming down there. We were just talking before the show. I'll be coming down there as well. You wouldn't have any problem, obviously, or hopefully, doing a little bit of a video when I'm down there as well. I would hope. Sure. Perfect. Yeah, so we'll do a little bit of a haul video there. A couple of things that I saw that he's got that I would definitely be interested in, and we'll be chatting about that too. And I'll send him along a message saying I was sick on this date and this date. I'll be coming there. I'll be staying here and I'll get back. Okay. Which I'm already expecting as far as that goes. We're going to head on into the rambling story of the week. You have one, Mr. Magazine?
I do have a doozy. So my sister's my manager, Lori, at my retail store, and she drives a Kia. She just bought a Kia about 6 months ago. Parks it out by the street in the parking lot, and then broad daylight, it was stolen. So it's a Kia, but she did pay extra for that. Whatever, there's some device, I guess the insurance company wants you to pay for. It's a couple $100, but these people that break into these cars must know how to bypass that as well. And I guess you can start them up with a USB port if you have some device as well. So anyways,
I can show you how after.
Oh, good.
Did I say that out loud?
So the car was stolen. And I guess the insurance company gives you 10 days, and it's on camera too. We got the camera of, it was like 2 PM during the day, people in the parking lot walking by and stuff and driving by. And so then they give you 10 days, insurance company. If it's not, found in 10 days, you can get insurance for a new car, how they would prorate its use, whatever. So on the 9th day,
right,
I get to the shop at 4 a.m. Eddie, the laundry, my brother-in-law who cleans the laundromat, her fiance or whatever you want to call him, he leaves at 3. I get there at 4, and the car's back in the same spot. So they really didn't steal it. They just borrowed it for 9 days, and it's on camera, them driving it back and putting it in the same spot. It's just crazy. And there wasn't.
Did they detail it or wash it for her?
No, and everything.
Tank of gas?
In it. They took a couple things like her car charger, like nothing of any value really. There was a tub. I gave one of those fancy, black tubs, those nice storage tubs that was still in there. And they just brought it back in the same spot. And the police said we've never had that happen ever.
They got to the chop shop, and so many of the guys made fun of them for stealing a Kia
Yeah, right.
that they were like, okay, we're just taking it back.
Crazy. Yeah, just the handle was messed up, and then wherever they started,
USB or whatever. Yeah,
that was it. But yeah, that's crazy.
Question for you, and she may not know this. Any idea how many miles were put on it?
She was gonna find out. Yeah, I don't know. She didn't tell me. Yeah.
Maybe they had to drive down and do a big deal down in South Carolina or something. They drove it down. And when Mr. Buysalot sees me driving up in a Kia, he'll be like, I know where you got that from.
Well, they have to live nearby because they walked away. It's not like they pulled up in another stolen car. And it's not like they robbed the bank and now we're switching cars out so we don't get caught. They're walking away. It's like crazy.
That's great.
We have too many guns down here. That stuff doesn't happen.
You check the trunk. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Might have Billy Bats in the trunk.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Might be more merchandise. Maybe they forgot to empty the trunk.
That's true. Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. Anything you want to promote, Mr. Buysalot?
No, I just hope that everybody is following, you guys. You guys do a great show.
Oh, thank you.
Weekly. I don't always get to stop in because some days I've got to the point where I think I've burned myself out from Facebook and YouTube and everything. That's why I would like employees again. I don't even want to know what we sell. I just want to see the end dollar amount. Because my wife made it very clear to me one day. She's like, you've publicly put it out that you'd take $1 million for both of your warehouses, all of your personal inventory, your personal collection. She's like, you take $1 million cash and there's, well over 1 million items. There's a couple million items, at least 3. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, so if you sell it and we get $2 an item, she's like, that's 6 million. So why should you be upset? I'm like, yeah, it works for me. I'm like, I don't even need to see it. Just sell it.
That's a good point. Now, and you do pick up a lot of things regularly, definitely. And if people, well, I know. Let me ask you one last question over here. I know you had done, which I watched the videos that you had done, where you were taking down your store, and you were trying to sell off all the different pieces, parts, and all that. Are those the one we're talking about? I probably will take from you, but the other ones with the government reports and the photos and all that, those are still available if people are interested.
Yep. So we have 95,000 listings left on eBay. We had 180,000 as of the time of the 75% fee video. It was $4.2 million in inventory listed on eBay. And I think publicly on that video, I might have said 150, but I would take $125,000 for all of it. It makes everything 75 cents an item roughly across the board. It is bagged, boarded. If somebody can figure out how to take my listings and move them over to their own account, there's 95,000 listings. You could fix them and make them better and probably do really well on it. But I look at it like we are going towards Whatnot in a big way, and I need the space. So, and if somebody does buy it, I know somebody that's looking at a portion of that collection to buy, and you can probably get him to pay some of that towards what he wants.
Probably be true. That would probably. I think my initial offer is $1,380, as I remember, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But you have to drive it up for the $1,380. Definitely do appreciate you being on. Great show, a lot of fun. Everybody do check out Mr. Buysalot. He's all over the place. Do check him out over on Whatnot, definitely.
Yep.
Do check out Mr. Magazine, MISTER Magazine. He does the Whatnot shows as well, as do I. We all love Whatnot over here. Still plugging away on eBay and the rest of them. Mr. Buysalot has given up on that, which I don't blame him at times. Do thank all of you for being here. And we will see you next video.
Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it, guys.